Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. Almost knocked over my fan. And this is the answering your financial questions live, an actual, that pushes the air, not a, fan, somebody that likes me, because I don't have anybody that does that. I'm just kidding. Um, test. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. How good is that? What up, Miss T Bikini? Can you hear me? Hmm. Now the fan is blowing right at me. Fortunately, the audio doesn't pick it up, I don't believe. She says I sound great. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, there he goes. Now it's all good. Okay. All right. Okay. So come on. Mute. Okay. Alrighty. So sorry for the doubling of hearing me. One is plenty. Yeah, it's a thing called what is it called? Darn it, I always forget what it's called. It's a filter and it's called noise suppression. And I have that on and turned way up high so that it doesn't pick it up at all. Pretty cool, huh? Technology. Alrighty. Let's get going. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And for my financial content here on the YouTube, you scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists, and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist and the answering your financial questions. And this stream is number 149. And the music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs, such as what is another one that I can do here. I don't normally do. Let's do opened up YouTube, saw the thumbnail was camel. It's always fun with George on the panel. Ayo wears ASOS and Deloney wears flannel. No one does it better than our guy George Camel. Saving money now. That's, of course, a parody of sorts of the, oh gosh, who is it? Of the Bad Touch by, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of that group, but it was, the Mammal Discovery Channel song. Anyway, that's one of the 12, and so take a listen if you're so inclined, and expect the singing to be about that. And of course, if you can sing any of these songs better than me, by all means, send me a recording of you singing it, and I will put it on my after show. How about that? Let's get into some questions. Mr. Bikini said 70% of my emergency fund taking forever. Misty Bikini likes George selling someone to sell their horse. Yep. I mean, that was the right advice for that young lady, despite her not wanting to do that. And I understand her not wanting to do that. But sometimes to make your financial situation better, you have to do things that you don't want to do. All right, Ability Deep 1558. Scream with me. I'm debt free. 70,000 student loan. $70,000 student loan. Paid it off in 13 months, I guess. Let's open up the whole thing here. Oh my goodness, that's not too long. Alrighty. Got out of college in 2015 with 70K. 2015, I believe that was. I think that was when I had, and so that was 10 years ago. I believe that was when I had my very mild heart attack, though, and yeah, fun times. And I believe this mug here from the Ohio State University Hospitals is a souvenir from that. Also got a stent, and no problem since, fortunately. So yeah, 2015 with 70K in student loan debt, non-US, so even worse for my country. Not quite a degree in German polka history, but close. On top of that, overdraft, 1,500 in credit card, some other personal loans. I took care of all the ankle biters a couple of years ago, but couldn't face the mountain, and that would be of the student loan debt, I believe, until I did, and good job to do that. Got started last year and cleared it in under a year. Changed my job, changed my entire attitude to money, got a side hustle, listened to the show daily for inspiration, and that's good to do. And also, if you do that, you're more liable to understand the advice and not misinterpret the baby steps like so many people do. A large part of it was Parent Plus, so I had a couple hard conversations with my parents and got them on board to the point they graciously paid a good chunk. Okay, that helps. Even started walking with the Prince of Peace too sometimes. Alrighty. Made my final payment today, and me and somebody opened a, doesn't say, it says me and opened a bottle of bubbly with my soon-to-be, I guess, husband maybe, to celebrate. Or soon-to-be wife maybe, I don't know. What is this? Ability Deep is the name, so no telling. Obligatory Dave questions. Range of income, oh, okay, sure, 50K. When it started this year, I'm approaching 80K with bonuses and side hustles. Excellent. How did you find the show? A local blogger wrote a book about student loan debt, bringing up Dave. Biggest hurdle during the process, getting over the point of this debt scares me to meh. This is manageable. And the last 10K took some doing because it didn't feel like, for me, the scary mountain anymore. Who cheered you on? Everybody. Great. Parents, friends, family. Some thought I was a bit daft, but here we are, indeed. And the problem is now you have proven to them that they can do that too. So it's not impossible to do. Biggest lessons learned going on this journey made me realize how much money stuff is psychological, indeed. Behavior, not math. And how managing your money better changes you for the better. It absolutely does. Next step, baby step 3. That's good. That is the actual next step. So good job. And I signed on with an organization that helps fellow money strugglers to get out of debt. Time to pass on the torch. Oh, cool. Okay, great. And that's great to help. I mean, that's why I became a financial coach. Let's see. Mr. McGee said, I do not have pets. They need their own emergency fund. That much is certain. That much is certain. They get a call probably, I would say, at least once a week of this pet or that pet, needed $10,000 worth of surgery. I think the last one was $5,000, but still talking about somebody on baby step 2, and it's not manageable. This is downtown. You're here with DRT downtown. Hey there, hi guys. Yeah, hey there, y'all. Hello there. I have a question regarding a scenario that occurred the other day between my wife and I about maybe kind of sort of buying a house. So I feel like for me, since it's the maybe kind of sort of, that's probably something that you should not be doing at this juncture. Let's see. All right, so some background is necessary. Probably not, but go ahead. But I'll bullet it so it's quicker, okay? Not really bullet points. Oh, those are minus signs, dashes in front of it. All right. Oh, we bought a house together back in February 2021, and that was a no. Yeah, before we got married, shouldn't have done that. We both threw money at it, but it's in her name. My name is not on the deed. Dumb things you do in 2021. Dumb things you do. We have been OS, Gazelle Intensity, paying it off. Okay. I feel like for me, that's not the baby steps probably. So you probably did it wrong, but we'll find out if that's true or not. The good was in under 5 years, even before we found Ramsey. Oh, great. The original loan was $110,000, I think. We're at around 30 now. Okay. The loan is at 2.9% interest. We are, yep. Interest rates were that in 2021. We're nearly done with the near total home renovation after a house fire from January 22nd. Okay, so maybe insurance paid for that, because you would not, for example, touch the, since there's only $30K left on it, hopefully that's not a HELOC they took out. Let's see, the other day she maybe jokingly sent me a listing for a home in an area that is, 1, closer to our friend. You only have one friend. 2, still close to our families. 3, the taxes are literally 1/3 of our current taxes. 4, has a lot of selling points for both of us. So I started the should we genuinely look into this conversation. After talking and thinking, we decided that it wasn't the best idea right now. There is just a lot of other stuff going on right now that not moving made sense. Okay. One of the few reasons she cited for not wanting to move was that, well, she's the one that sent you the listing for it. No need to do that if she knows that it's not a good idea to move. But regardless, maybe it was just fun for her. Oh, that we would need to get a new loan at a much higher rate. I think around here they're closer to 10% these days. Really, that's a lot. High cost of living area, maybe. Not to mention that it's a seller's market right now. Another thought she had was that she didn't want to get a new loan since we have paid so much on this one. To which I countered, I would rather get a new loan, which has a higher possibility of happening anyway at some point, and start smashing that one out instead of continuing to pay on a loan on something that is probably not our forever home. This is when she brought up the interest rate thing, and I thought, oh yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Anyway, Are these reasonings sound financially speaking, or are we thinking about this in the wrong way? Thanks in advance. Probably wants people to give him a good reason, a good way. I mean, a reason to actually do it. Because otherwise, you would just say, "Oh yeah, no, it's not a good idea." Um, but so the idea, though, is that you buy your first house and you pay it off, which you are doing, and then if you want to upgrade, you get the equity. So yes, before moving, you would still put money into it and pay it off early because you get that money back. So it's not that smart to think, oh, well, no, I'm not going to put anything because it's not our forever home. I'm not going to stay there. No, you get all that money back when you sell it. So yes, you still do pay it off because you know what? You might not move. And so you should be doing step 6 if you're on step 6. But doesn't say anything about the rest of the story as far as if there's any other debt. If there's non-mortgage debt as well, they're doing it wrong. They also, he's not on the deed. They're not married. Not smart at all. But about maybe kind of buying a new house. Yeah, that's going to be a no. Novel B 541. Roth and potential penalties. We screwed up. On my wife's Roth account, we were not making Roth conversions every month, but rather investing directly straight into her Roth. Okay. But we make too much money. Adjustable gross income combined is $251,000, 918. In addition to the $251,000. And that's a good problem to have. The good news is moving forward, we will be doing a Roth conversion every month. Okay. But the bad news is that I may have taxes and penalties going back years because you did it wrong. Yep. The Vanguard representative wanted to know if I wanted to go back and correct 2025 and 2024. So here are my questions. I don't know. I think you can correct any of them. You can amend any tax return. I don't know if there's a limit on that. There might be, and I'm just not aware of it. So here are my questions. Should I have them do it? Yes. That way you file correctly. Also, if we don't get audited, do I have nothing to worry about? I don't know. There would be no reason for you to be audited, I wouldn't think, because making a dumb mistake like that, that probably happens and doesn't mean you need to be audited necessarily. The longer I wait, does it make it worse? Yeah, fix it now. You don't want to owe money to the government, to the IRS. And so, yes, you would do that today, immediately. Have them do that today and ask about the previous years. What do you do about those? Take a new job to pay off debt. Yes, you do that. Baby step 2 flare here. Our family is $172,000 in debt between a HELA, not smart, cars and credit cards, excuse me. We have 2 opportunities to make massive chunks in this. One, sell our rental property, and yes, that is exactly what you would do. Because guess what? If you have debt like you do, you should have never bought the rental property. And if you have a mortgage on the rental property, you should have paid completely in cash. So you're doing it wrong. And 2, take a new job I've been offered that would increase household income by 100K a year. You do both. Yeah. Put the house on the market in the next month. Yes. Sell it. As for the job offer, I've been at my company quite a while. Love the job of my coworkers. I'm unsure about jumping because I wasn't really looking and comfortable where I am. Do I owe it to my family and myself to make the jump? No, I'm fine with you selling that rental property if that will take care of all your debt. And now is the time to stop doing non-smart things like a HELOC or financing cars or credit cards. Don't do that anymore. That's basically in the baby steps. And now it doesn't say it here, but part of baby step 0 is where you decide that you're going to pay off your dumbass debt and you're not ever going to take out any more dumbass debt. And yes, the new job, I mean, like I said, if you can pay it off with what you can get for the rental property, then you really don't need the job because that puts you in a higher baby step, might even pay off the debt, and you'll have the full emergency fund as well. And so you'd be in step 4. And in step 4, you're in a much better position to keep a lower paying job that you love instead of going to a higher paying job. Cisco Lupe, in Ramsey World, are ADUs always bad? Accessory dwelling units, Grammy flats, etc. Yeah, the problem is because it always comes with a family member living there with you, basically. So many shows where family members have separate properties on the same plot of land. Yeah, things fall apart. Exactly. Like the 80-year-old in the ADU suing her children in the main house. Yeah, that was a recent call. I'm hoping to put a tiny house in my brother's backyard, but all these episodes are scaring me. Yeah, don't do it. I'm going to see about getting all utilities separate, even though I know my brother wouldn't care if I tapped off the main house. Don't do it. No. Going to see if I can pay taxes separate as well. If I can't, I'm going to give him money, as I know the extra dwelling will cause his taxes to go up. And I've made sure he is okay with me leaving it if I decide to leave. At some point, he said he'd just rent it out. Okay, I mean, if you're paying for it and you have that agreement, I still don't think it's a good idea, because you don't want to be intertwined by that, because that's a monetary intertwining, as it were. And so you don't want to do that because, that's just like, well, that's why you don't borrow money from anybody, especially family and friends, because of the problems that can develop. And so, I mean, you just heard the 80-year-old in the ADU suing her children in the main house. You just saw that, and you just said, you've seen the shows. You said so many shows. And but everybody is nutty. Everybody thinks that they won't have any problem in their particular family, or when they take a student loan, they don't think that, oh, they might be the one to not graduate, that kind of thing. Or even if graduate, they will certainly get a good job. That's not guaranteed. So the advice would be, do not do that. Buy your own land and tiny houses. Mr. Ramsey doesn't advise either. So you're doing it all right. Eurocon 101. Location for emergency fund. Baby step 1. I'm a few months from baby step 3. Exclamation point. Congratulations. Now looking to build an emergency fund now. Okay. Best spot to park liquid funds, high yield savings account, or money market account. They're basically the same thing. High yield savings account probably would be more interest. Here, George promote Laurel Road. Yep. Laurel Road's high yield savings account. But I'm also looking at a money market, so I don't have 10K just sitting there making less than 4%. You think the money market's going to make more? Pros, cons. I always recommend to have that just somewhere where you can get to it immediately. Because if it's in a, even if you put it in Laurel Road's high yield savings account, that's still going to be not immediately available. Now, they may allow debit card access, and so if they allow debit card access, then that's fine. But the problem is, if you need to actually transfer that money, guess what? Emergencies don't wait 1 to 3 days for emergency funds to transfer back to your regular account. So I would just have it in a savings account is what my advice always is. But a lot of people with that money, they want to make money off of that money. And so they go to the high yield savings account thinking that they will be fine like that. And another thing that is the worst case scenario for something like that, imagine there is an emergency, and imagine it happens to you, and say you're unconscious, say you're in a coma or something, and your family or spouse or whatever, they don't know how to access your freaking money market account or whatever you put it in. Your high yield savings account at Laurel Road. They don't know how to, they don't have access to it. So that would be another problem with that. Orchid 6014, baby step 6 question/feedback on retirement contribution. I'm 54 years old, and on baby step 6, I contribute 25%. We already know it's wrong. You doing it wrong would be the feedback. So you see, my friend, you said you're on baby step 6, so that means the house is not paid off early. So you still have a mortgage. And oh, look here, step 4 says invest 15%. And you do not invest 1 penny extra until your house is paid off and you're in step 7. That's when you can put in as much as you want, but you're doing it wrong. I don't care how old you are or how behind you are in saving for retirement. None of that matters. You're doing it wrong. And it looks like they know. I contribute 25% to my retirement account, but the plan states to lower it to 15%. That's correct. What's your question about it? That's the advice. And the reason is so you put more money to pay the house off early. Guess what? As far as retirement, you don't think having a paid off house so you don't have a mortgage or rent payment isn't going to help in retirement? Of course it is. It's time to quit being dumb and be smart, people. And concentrate on paying off my mortgage. That's right, which I currently owe $134,000. The interest rate doesn't matter to me. I don't care about that. You still owe it, and the advice is still, before you put 1 cent more than 15% of gross income into retirement investing, you would have the house paid off first. I currently have $895,000 in retirement, but I don't know what my monthly salary goal is when I retire. I don't care. I don't care. You're doing it wrong. So what you got to think of there is the $895 should theoretically produce $89,000 a year. So if you can live on $89,000 a year, and your house should be paid off too. If you can live on $89,000 a year, you should be fine. If I don't lower my contribution, I can make an extra payment of $1,000 per month. No. And according to Dave's mortgage payoff calculator, I will pay it off in 5 years. No. It says pay it off early as soon as possible and to only do 15%. It has it right there in baby step 4. See where it says 15%? It doesn't say if you think you found a way around that, do something different. Or if you really feel like it, if you really want to, you can do it. Obviously, you don't have to follow any of the Ramsey advice. You can do whatever the heck you want. But if you want to do that, you don't have to post it on the Dave Ramsey subreddit or talk to anybody about it. You can just do your dumb crap. If I lower my retirement contribution, I can probably add an extra payment of $2,000, $3,000, and then it'll be paid what? Month will put me in 3 years, 10 months, and 3 years, 1 month, respectively. Yeah. So do the 3,000 and be done in 3 years, 1 month. Yes. 3 years, 10 months, 3 years. Yeah. And you're not going to be like, oh, well, that's so close to the 5 years. The advice is the advice for a reason. If you don't have to work this hard to not take the Ramsey advice. You can just not take the Ramsey advice. Most people do not take the Ramsey advice. And so, but you don't have to like go, oh, well, how can I make this work with Dave's advice? How can I, you can just do your dumb crap. Like most people. Oh, let's see. Oh, has anyone followed this plan when you lowered your contribution to 15% to pay? What plan? Oh, the plan to pay it off quicker. Yeah. Thank you all for your valuable feedback. I decided to take the plunge and follow Dave Ramsey's Baby Step 6 program. Great. And also Baby Step 4, where it says to just do 15%. As you well know, you already knew the freaking answer, so you take Dave's advice or not. We can even still be friends if you don't take the Ramsey advice. I have plenty of friends that do dumbass stuff with money. Family members as well. I lowered my contribution to 15%. Will be tagging my mortgage balance until paid. If it doesn't go well, what do you mean if it doesn't go well? That's so dumb. That's so dumb. Oh, a smiley face. I don't know. That's still dumb though. Even the whole thing is dumb. But, just do what you want to do. And what is it that, nobody, I'm sure nobody explained anything to this person. They already knew the advice and they knew the reason for the advice. So what would somebody have said other than, you should do this, and you already knew that. So I don't get it. Anyway, let's see. Da Beast 4800. Nearly debt-free. So not quite. You cannot do debt-free because you're not debt-free yet. Maybe they just use that flair because that's something about the question here. Or probably just maybe just celebrating early or something. Let's see. Hi, everyone. Hi, guys. I know the flair says debt-free, but it's not yet. Well, then why is your flair lying to us? Da Beast 4800. I'm writing this after managing my funds and completing my finance Excel sheet after 4 hours. Thanks, ADHD. I prefer doing it myself. I'm also tired. So this might be all over the place. Maybe go to bed instead of write this then. Note, I found Dave Ramsey videos and money management methods this month. Congratulations. And normally the way that people get to Mr. Ramsey is they open up the Google or browser of their choice and they type in pay off debt or something like that. And so that would be how you would do that. And so if you are nearly debt-free after only a month, that's great. Let's see. I was over $30,000 in debt when I was in my early 20s. I was never taught how to manage my money either. I was not, except by Mr. Ramsey's advice. And I didn't take it right away either. That's why I don't want you to be a dumbass like I was, because I would be loads better than I am now if I had started following his advice earlier. But no, I was dumb. So don't be dumb like I was. I was just told, well, you should consider putting money into savings or 401k. I never received an in-depth explanation of why that was so important. So when I got a job at 19, I started in retail at $7.25 an hour and had fun with the money. But it doesn't matter if you had an in-depth explanation, you still didn't put money into savings or 401k. You just had fun with it. So you need an in-depth explanation before you will not do what, like, parents or somebody else who told you, because that is good advice. Oh, well, it says you should consider doing it. So, oh, that's an option then. I didn't save a dime and live paycheck to paycheck, but I didn't have much in terms of bills. And then guess what happens? You get older and you have more bills. I then got a new job at a customer service help desk and made $14 an hour part-time. This job was around 30 hours a week, which was good then. I was only 20 and was making better than I thought, so got to use 2014 Honda Accord and blew the rest. So when you got to use 2014 Honda Accord, that means probably financed it. Then about 8 months later, I get a call from a job that originally wanted me, but couldn't hire 2 new service desk technicians. I started at 23 an hour. Fabulous. And thought I wanted a car that showed that. That's dumb. That's the most dumbass thing in the world. Oh, I got a new job. That means I need a new car. That's the most dumbass thing in the world. There's a lot of competition for the most dumbass thing, but that's probably the most dumbass thing from today's show. So I got trade-in value to be even on my 2014 Honda Accord at the peak of COVID. In my stupidity, I got a newer 2018 Mustang that cost me thousands of dollars in repairs, for which I didn't have any savings. I never made any additional payments on the car either. Yeah, it was dumb as crap. 1 to 2 years ago, I got notified that I had been signed up for health insurance for 2 years that I hadn't paid for, even though I have health, dental, and vision through my job. So I put that total cost on my credit card. But it got worse as I was tired of the money I'd been putting into the Mustang. I got a $5,000 loan from a friend. You shouldn't do that either. And got a reliable car, but it was not a cheap beater cash car. No, that would be too smart. Exactly. So what's the point? This is War and Peace right here. My only real debt is $100 monthly payment to my college, but it's not a loan. I qualified for FAFSA and they paid for almost all of it. Was the $100 monthly. WGU something university allowed me to pay the remainder like a monthly subscription. There's zero interest and it doesn't break the bank. That's still debt, my friend. So that you're on baby step 2. Congratulations. I should be moving out at the beginning of 2027. Get an apartment with my girlfriend. No, do not do that. You do not live together or combine finances until you're married. We'll have a full 6-month emergency fund. No, you are in step 2 and you pay that off, not $100 a month and stretch it out forever as long as they want you to. What you do is you pay that off early. I was not thinking when I wrote this and forgot to include my current savings. Doesn't matter. Oh, I currently have $8,000 in the bank. Hey, guess what? You're in step 2. The amount you should have in there. Guess what? It says, where does it say? Right there. Step 1, save $1,000 as fast as possible. you're in step 2. So you only have $1,000. You don't have $8,000 in savings. So you're doing it wrong. Whatever. Doing extra savings. My way, got 3 pay. I'll owe about 12.8 on my car in September. Yeah, you're doing it wrong. You're on step 2 with the whatever that is loan that you're paying off through your school and the car. So you're on baby step 2, so there's no savings there. From there, I'll have an emergency fund for a little over 6 months, and you have a 6-month emergency fund only until you are in step 7. So everything, every single thing you're doing is bad. How to invest $150K. Let's see, if you had $150,000, how would you invest it? Well, so what you would do here is go to the baby steps. And if you are not in step 7, you would apply it to whatever baby step you're on. You would not freaking invest it. In step 4, if you have a mortgage, you do only 15% of your household gross income. It doesn't matter if you get an extra $150K. You apply that to whatever baby step you're on, and you do not invest it. So you're doing it wrong. You're thinking about it wrong. Quit being dumb. Property, stocks, your house is paid off. You have a separate retirement fund, an emergency fund, and separate Roth IRA, which all continue to be funded by your paycheck. So the $150K can be fully invested without having to add to worry about any of those. If you are in step 7, you can invest it in whatever you want. If the stuff your Roth IRA is making good money, you can invest it in the same stuff in a brokerage account. And so, or you can look for, even if your Roth IRA isn't making good money, you could perhaps still find some managed mutual funds that beat the indexes, and so make a lot of money for that. So if you are in step 7, which if you have the paid off house, sounds like you might be. I'd in 8494. Advice for someone with a spouse not on board. Are you asking for it, or are you trying to give it? New money makeover. Okay. Had over $60,000 in consumer debt a month ago. Was able to get it down to $9K in about a week. Great. So this person did exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, when you start following the Ramsey advice and you have debt, oh, here's how we can fix that. We can undo all the dumbass things we did, like save more, have more savings than $1,000. So you would use that money and apply it to debt. If you have a the full emergency fund, so if you have extra savings, you would do that. If you're investing, you stop investing while you pay that off, that non-mortgage debt. If you have any other assets, if you have too much in cars, if you have too much in house. But I mean, if you're in step 7, again, that makes a big difference. Oh, but it doesn't sound like that is. Let's see. Paid off a wedding loan and credit cards easily. Great. Made personal sacrifices getting rid of my truck, and that's how you can do it as well, which I love. The problem is my wife isn't remotely on board. Yeah, that's difficult, because you can do all this stuff and she can still decide to spend money like crazy. I can't even bring money up without some kind of negative response. Well, so you see, what you're doing is responsible, and she doesn't want to do responsible things like be on a budget. She doesn't want any limitations. She possibly has princess syndrome and wants to buy whatever she wants to buy whenever she wants to buy it. The other morning, I was telling her how excited I was to pay off my $8,000 credit card debt, and she said I was stressing her out. How? How? It's being paid off. I told her I will help her pay off the car. Okay, so it doesn't work like that. It's our debt. It's not her car and my car. It's our cars. And if you owe debt on them, it's our car debt. And she started thinking about getting an even more expensive car. Of course she does. I'm excited to be debt free one day, but realize I may never actually be if she doesn't commit to the plans. Yeah, and so here's how it works, as always. And, you know, I don't have any magic button to make her get on board. There's not one. But here's how we do it. We do it communication. I'm sorry, it stresses her out to talk about money. She's an adult. She needs to be an adult. So you communicate. You compromise, which means probably there's going to be some dumb money stuff happening that you'll have to agree to, but she'll agree to some of your restrictions, is what she's going to call them. But that's just being responsible, sticking to a budget. And if you can't do communication or either one or compromise, then you got to do the third C, my friend, which is counseling. And so, but, you know, I mean, it all depends on how you, I mean, you heard about Dave Ramsey, you got all excited about it. And most of the times when that happens, especially a man goes home to the wife and just like freight trains are with just, you know, just blah, 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 you know, a lot of talking, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that, we're going to do that. But she's a princess, so she's going to even be more not on board. So, but you shouldn't do that with any type of personality. Dirty Zines. The correct way to upgrade a house in the Dave multiverse. What would Dave do? Flair. So the idea is that you do not take out mortgage after mortgage after mortgage. You buy the house, and if you're on steps 4, 5, and 6, which you would have to be in order to buy the house, because you don't save up for the down payment until step 3B, so you don't have any debt, and you do have a full emergency fund, and that's when you would save for the down payment for the house. And so to upgrade that house, guess what you do? You use the equity in your house when you sell it, and also you use savings for the down payment. And you don't take out another mortgage over and over and over again. Commonly people could enter the housing market with an affordable starter house, build equity / wealth in the next 5 to 10 years, then upgrade to a larger, nicer house. Yes, you still can do that. Why can't you do that? Especially as family grows and ages. But what other ways Dave is okay with doing that? Does anyone actually do those methods? Again, most people will not take the Ramsey advice because it means they have to sacrifice. And one of the things they have to sacrifice is getting another house, upgrading the house. You often don't need to do that. For example, if you have 2 bedrooms, guess how many kids you can comfortably have? You need 2 bedrooms. 2 kids can share a bedroom at early ages. Let's see what else this is here. Some little justification station here. Normie way, I believe, is to get a bridge loan for the new house while moving out and selling the old one. No, you don't do that crap, because guess what? Maybe your house will never sell. No, what you do is you sell your house, but you get the buyer to agree that you can stay in the house an extra 2 weeks or so, or an extra month, whatever you want to do about that. So no, there's no bridge loan. So no, 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 no. What don't you understand about that? Mr. Ramsey is not all about debt, even if it is for an upgraded house. Now, he's fine with you getting the mortgage for the first one. Let's see. I think that isn't Dave approved, and you're darn right it's not, because you're taking 2 mortgages on at a time. You're right, absolutely. Bridge loans, high interest, you could get left. Exactly what I said. That's what Steve said. Save down payment for the next house in a brokerage or high-yield savings account. Buy and move into new house. Put old house on the market. No, you do not have a mortgage on the next house. You have to save up for it completely, and you sell the first house first. So, I mean, you can sell it and you can rent somewhere temporarily, or again, you can have the agreement with the buyer that you get to stay in there long enough to move out. I don't think Dave approves of this one because you would be investing extra money rather than paying off current mortgage early. Right. And guess what? It's the same thing. You would still be saving on the interest on the house, on your current mortgage, and when you sell it, you get all of it back. You'd also have to float 2 mortgage payments again, and so that's a no. Pretty sure Dave would approve of moving into a rental while selling old house. Yes, meaning you're renting, you don't own the rental, but you're renting from someone else. Yes. And then use proceeds to buy the new one, but most people don't want to move 2 times in 1 year. Tough crap. Most people don't want to do a lot of things that Mr. Ramsey advises. And when you're a temporary downgrade into a rental, tough crap. Pretty sure Dave would approve of paying off current mortgage and saving up down payment for upgraded house. I don't know. It sounds like they occasionally do give that advice where you can upgrade mortgages, but that seems to go against the whole idea of the Ramsey step, because your lifestyle creeping there. If to upgrade, you have to go take out a larger mortgage than you already had, that's more debt, and so that should be a no, in my opinion. But it's probably not a realistic target for most people due to how long it would take. Tough crap. And so then, hey, guess what? I guess you don't get to upgrade then. Or you can just do whatever dumb crap you want to do. And do it any way you want to. And upgrade even though you don't need to. A lot of people say they need to upgrade. No, probably don't. Just want to. Second job for savings / debt. A Sparta 16. For those that have been successful building their emergency savings and lowering debt, did you get, well, I guess the $1,000. I was saying you wouldn't be saving your full emergency fund while you still have debt, but I guess that's what they meant. Did you get a second job? Yes, I did. I worked at Menards, which is a like a big hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot. And they're only in the Midwest though. And so yeah, I worked there for 4 to 5 hours before I went to my computer job. And that was great because I had to do a lot of physical stuff. at Menards as a stocker. And, you know, they have some, in those hardware stores, they have big things. And so it was a good balance, because then I, you know, did all the rough stuff there, but then I could recover from that when going to my computer job, because that was mostly sitting. Let's see. What worked for you for a side hustle with second part-time income? Yeah, so I mean that's basically retail. So, and you can do stocking anywhere, a grocery store or whatever. I'm a teacher, so I have time off in the summer and free-ish weekends. Yeah. Well, to pay off debt, you make yourself free all weekends and not just be ish. Unless you have, you know, I understand family obligations, etc., etc. But otherwise, how about you just give up a couple years and work your butt off and get that debt done? And then you can go back to your Chester teaching job. Cisco Lupe. This person, I've read that name before. Ramsey always talked about how to get a mortgage without a zero credit score. You mean with a zero credit score? But I've never seen them say how to get an apartment without a credit score. You tell them in advance you don't have a credit score, and you provide payment history at another apartment, or of anything else, of like a utility bill or something like that. You show them that you have paid off other things, and you don't need a credit score. So you just tell them immediately, and some places may not rent to you, and so you just go to a different one. That might mean you can't get into exactly the one you want. Tough crap. The advice still stands to not have a credit score. Ramsey in his personality explained manual underwriting, right? And they endorse Churchill Mortgage. Yep. Several occasions I've seen them say you can get an apartment without a credit score. Yes, I have gotten. I've gotten 4 apartments, 4 different apartments, and never had a single problem. So shut up with your dumb crap. People always want excuses to, oh, I have to have a good credit score because so I can get an apartment. I even listened to a Ramsey presentation where he said there's a nice apartment complex across the street from his compound. He said he could easily buy the complex, but they would not rent to him due to a 0 credit score. There's more curiosity question, but I might have some issues renting in the future. I might move and be jobless for a little while, but I have a pension. I'm not going to read the rest of it. There's no need to do that. AO, Anthony O'Neill, did it while he was there, and George Camel has also done it. They recorded themselves calling different apartments, and most of the apartments are fine as long as you can show a payment history of some type. Training bullfrog, not and. Training bullfrog. Is health savings account considered as a retirement account for Ramsey? The caption says it all, and that's not a caption, my friend. That would be a title. That would be a title of your post, sir or madam. Health savings account. You can use it as additional retirement account. But how you would have to do that is you contribute to it, and keep the money in there, and you just cash flow any medical stuff. So you can keep the investment in there growing. Because the actual idea behind it is you put the money in there, and it can be in investments, and so the money grows, and then you take money out of it to pay for medical stuff. but you don't have to. You can leave money in there, and so that is used as an extra tax advantaged account, brokerage account, or retirement account by some people. So you can do both with them. Referred beans or referred beans. Relapsed after 6.5 months. If you're talking about debt, you're a dumbass. Today at my friend's house, I got a notification from the bank that I overdrafted my spending account. Ouch. Quit being a dumbass. All you got to do is log into it, and then you see how much money you have, and then don't spend more than that. That's pretty stupid. That's your base level of being an adult, not overspending more money than you have. I started Dave Ramsey 6.5 months ago and hadn't overdrafted once or added something new to my credit card since then. Well, you should have closed the credit card, and it should be paid off completely. I got a new job that will require me to be in office. So I started buying clothes and shoes and bullshit. All right. Then I was going to the movie, then eating out. And are you supposed to do that if you're on step 7? Or are you supposed to do that if it's not in your budget? The answer is no to both of those. Then this, that, and the other. Yeah, $1,000 in 2 weeks. What a dumbass. You're a dumbass. I mean, I didn't take the Ramsey advice, but I didn't spend money like that either, though. That's how quick it was. Of course, none of it was budgeted for in the EveryDollar app. I'll be okay, but it just sucks because I thought I finally learned my lesson. No, you quit paying attention for some reason. And you have to keep paying attention to your money forever. You have to budget forever. And you have to look at like you said, you have EveryDollar, right? How about you look at that if you need to every day to know how much money you have left in the bank account, or log into the bank account. If you have to log in every day so you know how much money is in there, do that. Quit being a dumbass. Okay? Time to be an adult. Local number 2662. Does being a generous tipper count as giving? Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with your big tips as a way of giving. I'm fine with that. Try searching Google and the sub no availability. I know when Dave Ramsey says give 10%, he's mainly recommending tithing, but considers giving to charity as having the same effect. Yes. And so if you're a Christian, you tithe. That's part of the belief system there. But if you don't, that would be just giving to any worthy charitable organization that you would like to. Or even if you have a good waiter or waitress, you can bless them by giving them more money. My personal interpretation of this is if you wanted to give money to a panhandler, for example, or a friend in need with no expectation of anything in return, that will count as well. Yeah, that's giving because you're giving the money away. Yeah. I feel like, for me, tipping is a gray area. Google pulled up some Dave advice recommending to not feel obligated to tip. But can anyone refer to or remember Dave ever conflating tipping with having a generous spirit? I think tipping has come up in talks like that before. For example, this is not a real scenario of mine, purely hypothetical. If you order DoorDash, you place a standard tip. Yeah, and that's why I don't do that. I take myself out of tip situations. I go to the thing. I'm the driver. I'm the driver. And my tip is not having to give anybody else a tip. Deborah Tangvu. All right. Paid off my credit card and my score dropped. Yeah. We don't care about credit score here. Been working on my credit repair for a couple years now. Yeah, we don't repair it. We don't give a crap about it. Following the plan, paid off my credit cards. Yeah, nothing in the plan says, oh, make sure you keep your credit score up. You're a dumbass. Kept everything else clean. You never heard them say they don't give a crap about the credit score? Thought I was finally on the right track. You are, just not to be. The only reason you need a credit score is to get in debt. Again, then out of nowhere, I get a credit alert. My score dropped 13 points. Check my reports, thinking I missed something, but nope, everything's in good standing. The only change is I paid off card. If you stop your interacting with debt, your score is going to go down. Kind of wild how the credit system punishes you. Yeah, that's why we don't play footsie with them. It feels like for this person, unless you're playing their game, exactly, that's what I said. And staying in debt, your score takes a hit. Yes, makes me realize even more why credit repair can be such a trap if you focus too much on the score. Yeah, now it says credit repair, as I hope they didn't sign up for some service from some dumbass company. I hope not. So I might do a stream tomorrow, Sunday night. I'm off work all day. And so I might do that, but also there is a definite after show on Monday. The only day there will not be one is Tuesday, because I am working during the time it would be. And so let's just take a quick look at a couple. Let's preview a couple of questions here. This is the worst calls I've ever listened to. What is it? Watching Dave Ramsey right here. No idea why the bank gave him car loans that are more than his income. Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall that one. I don't recall hearing that one. I haven't, because of work, I haven't been able to watch all the shows. The Wage Jack, and so we'll get into that more when I do the next show. Like I said, maybe a Sunday night answering your financial questions, but definitely a Monday morning Ramsey Show, After Show. Spending love language. Listen to the show today, and Jade said something about her spending love language. Said hers was convenience. Dave says his was experiences. Yep. Is there a good reference to look into this way of breaking down what we spend money in the context of marriage? I think this would be helpful for me and my wife. Well, you figure it out what you like to buy, and you come up like Dave, very recently, I mean, he loves to go to, oh crud, where does he go? Not Baja, not the Bahamas. Oh, I can't remember where he likes to go, but anyway, he went to Egypt. See the Great Pyramids within the past 2 years. And so experiences, that would be his thing. So you just figure out what it is that you like to spend money on, and that would be what it is. So would be that. Dan 13 threat, kind of like a troll on here, kind of. Why does Dave Ramsey never discuss passive income? Because it doesn't really exist. What are you going to do that's passive income? And so we'll read this and find out. If it's a rental property, guess what? You either have to pay somebody to deal with it, which means less profit for you. And so it's usually not a good deal when that happens. Anything else, you have to work at it. I can't think of anything that's actually passive income. So Dave says no such thing, and so that's why he never discusses it, because it doesn't exist. I mean, you could consider an investment being a passive income, but that would be about it as far as in the stock market. Bugga 2024, how much should be saved for a college fund? That all depends. There's no average, there's no hard and fast rule, there's no percentage. You just have to figure out how much you need for each child to have when they turn 18, which would be going to college years. And so you work backwards to see how much you need to put away per month. You can add in the investing component of that as well, but there's not a number that we can tell you how much you need to save for college fund for your child or children. So what the wasted years are about as well. Alrighty, one more time. Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, Coach Steve Money. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me by just emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Also, you can use that same email for any financial coaching questions or just finances in general or anything that's on my YouTube channel. So, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App at $Coach Alternatively, again, using that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, for a Walmart gift card. Upcoming streams, the Ramsey Show After Show, 11:07 a.m. Eastern Time. Every no period should be there. Every day this coming week, except Tuesday between June 30th and July 4th. Other than Tuesday, I will be on every day, including July 4th. That's going to be a Ramsey replay probably, or best of, or actually, I don't know. They might run the show from the previous day. I don't know. Financial questions streams, 8 p.m. Eastern time, either Saturday or Sunday. So it's Saturday. I'm doing it today. I may still do it Sunday. Maybe not. I don't know. And Sunday, the first weekend in July. Looks like that's the only time I can do it, because I am doing 4 after shows this week. And so I don't do an after show and an answering your financial question stream at the same time. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.